Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Thanks so much for joining us today for the Covalent workshop hosted by Lei and Harish, namely the, give me one second. So excited to have you join us for the Jam Web3 with One Unified API workshop. So now just pass the mic off to Lei and Harish and have them introduce themselves and get the workshop going.
Hi, my name's Lei. I do API marketing at Covalent. Excited to be here today and be part of Web3 Jam. It's a cool title for this thing. Love it. Harish, to you.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Harish. I look after developer relations at Covalent. And again, we've been part of the ETHGlobal sort of circuit for hackathons over the past half year. And it's been really exciting. For just seeing what comes out of these events just always blows our mind. And B, just the opportunity to interact with a wide, diverse group of developers. It's definitely an exciting thing for us. Covalent itself came out of a hackathon, so we're very passionate about not only supporting and promoting, but also just actively contributing as much as we can.
Yeah, so I'm going to be giving a little bit of a walkthrough of Covalent and our unified API, and I'll get started. Okay, should be able to see. So yeah, this is us. Welcome to Jam Web3 with One Unified API. Before we get started, I just want to mention we've been doing something new where at Covalent, we host a lot of presentations where afterwards we'll have a little quiz that you can take to kind of like recap things. And if you get questions right, you get a POAP, like one of those little proof of attendance NFTs. So we'll post that after if you're interested. Yeah. So just a little bit of background first about kind of like where Covalent is and how we fit in the crypto stack. So crypto adoption is still very much on the upswing. I know we've been kind of in this bull market for a little while now, but as you can see, kind of like from the past few years, it's really just this year where we're seeing big names like Visa, PayPal, NBA, stuff like that get into crypto and NFTs. And basically the stage that we're at, we still need so much more infrastructure in order to be able to support mass adoption. So if you look at the adoption technology graph on the right, you can kind of see like the insane growth of some of these innovations in the past and where we are like right over there at the bottom corner. So a lot of work still needs to be done. And that's kind of what we're working towards at Covalent, is providing that data layer that can power the infrastructure of Web3. So our vision, we kind of like to do this exercise of 5 years into the future, what do we see for this world that we're in right now? So we see a multi-chain future for sure. That's a really critical component for us. Millions of pieces of blockchain, millions of data points on the blockchain. And basically, in order to have all of these users have a seamless experience, you need a good way to get that data out and to be able to query it really fast. So part of that is interoperability, and basically applications that can be used across multiple different chains that have a really user-friendly experience. So hackathons like this are a really good way to see what kind of innovation is coming out right now from some of the best minds here, and to see like basically how we can support more people being onboarded from Web 2 into Web 3. So as I mentioned, data interoperability is a really critical component of adoption. Basically what that means is like the ability to actually transfer information, use it across different platforms in an easy and understandable way. And that's something that we think is still sort of a struggle with blockchain in general. So for reference, like the read component is kind of what we're working on. The write component of blockchains, like writing to the blockchain, is kind of solid in that people really understand code across the world. It's something that's like established that people conform to a certain standard, but extracting the data in a way that is homogeneous across different chains and easy to understand is kind of a problem that still exists. And that's sort of what we're working on. So the blockchain data itself is disorganized. It's difficult to understand. It's expensive, it's complicated, it's kind of just a pain to work with. So what we want is to simplify that read experience and basically make it easier for people to query blockchain data to build faster and then to switch those builds between different chains. So to show you better, it kind of helps to explain where we fit in the crypto stack. So you can see blockchains at the top. That's where all of the code is written into the blockchain. And then you have nodes, and nodes are basically like your window to seeing that on-chain activity and to extracting that data. That's the part that's kind of messy and complicated a lot of the time. So Covalent is a middleware solution. Basically, we do that for you. Like, we take care of this. We fully index like a full copy of the blockchain. We have currently 18 different blockchains that we index. And then we host all of the on-chain data in a database, which you can query with the use of our unified API. And if you want, the part that's special about the unified API is that you can just change little parameters, like the chain ID, for instance, that will apply your project across a completely different blockchain. So that's kind of where the interoperability comes in. In terms of applications, there's really like a whole bunch of different use cases. We like to say 1 billion possibilities because I think we don't even know a lot of what's possible yet. But some of the common ones are like NFT galleries, consumer apps. Analysts really like this because it's fast and easy, and we have like tabular responses supported. So you can make charts and dashboards and like multi-chain insights. And then on an individual level too, like crypto taxes are something that I think are often overlooked. Being able to like query your own historical balances and your own transactions. So that's a pretty common use case for us as well. And then you have the users on top of applications, and that is who's ultimately going to change the world. So we need to create a good experience for users in order to have more people experience the benefits and the awesomeness of this space. So currently we have about over 15,000 developers and over 300 projects built with the Covalent API. This is kind of anywhere from like big names, some of which you might recognize on the website, and then anyone that builds projects at hackathons like these, because it's free to sign up for an API key. So that we know of, we're in more than 17 countries, but I think that number is always changing. It's actually like pretty hard to even tell at this point, since yeah, we could definitely do a better job like tracking who's actually using this, because it's just very accessible at this point. But yeah, you can check our website to kind of see if you want that social proof a little bit of like CoinGecko, Zapper, Aave, some of our close partners. So for this hackathon in particular, we're offering a, oops, there we go, $4,000 USDT, and some of the project ideas I'll go over, and we'll do a little bit of a showcase to kind of show you examples that we've seen in the past. But these are all things that are really easy to build with our API specifically. They kind of cater to the functions that make it fast and multi-chain. So DEX and DAO analytics dashboards, for instance, are pretty like, they're pretty in high demand like all the time. So basically different DEXs want to really understand their users and like what's happening on their platforms. And on the rise, we've definitely seen more DAO analytics dashboards too, because people want to like, it's that proof of identity kind of concept to see like which DAOs you're participating in. Yeah, so, and NFT storefronts and marketplaces. We've seen some super cool NFT marketplaces like 3D galleries that you can walk through that showcase your art. So our API supports like all of the NFT metadata, and then you can find the URL that like shows you that entire NFT, which I'll show a little bit later. Multi-chain themed crypto wallets, blockchain explorers, multi-chain asset trackers, all of that good stuff. If you want more project ideas, I'll show you our docs later, which kind of, it highlights some of the past builds, and it's a good place for inspiration. But yeah, we judge the projects based on kind of like the creativity, how well you're able to make full use of our different endpoints. And if you want more information on that, it'll be on the like prize info page of Web3 Jam under Covalent. So
I was going to say, it's just important to keep in mind, these are just high level ideas. We've seen all sorts of interesting stuff well beyond the subset of ideas that we present. So let your creativity just run wild here. That's the name of this hackathon. So
yeah,
don't be limited by what you see here. This is just the the high level subset of ideas to start from.
Yeah, Jam, Web3 Jam is all like, sounds very familiar. coming together to create cool new stuff. So actually, Harish, do you want to showcase some of the projects now?
That's kind of like our big ta-da, so maybe we'll wait till the end. I've got them all lined up here and they're ready to go, but let's walk through some of the hackathon resources and then we'll showcase a few of those.
Okay, so hackathon resources, basically, as I mentioned, there's kind of two places to go. So first is covalenthq.com/docs. I'll show you both of these a little bit too. And then the second is Covalent API reference itself. So our docs page is our knowledge base. That's where you're going to find like tutorials, how-to guides. It's a good place to get started and kind of get an overview of the API. It's also where you can sign up for a key. And I'll walk you through that in a second. And then our API reference page is where you can actually try live calls like right in the browser. We actually recently gave these a bit of a makeover. So we have like some new features, global settings that can kind of help you configure they help you configure your calls beforehand in terms of which chain ID you want to look at or which currency you want to see in the response. And that way it's just kind of faster because it applies it to all of your API calls. So let me, okay, you should be able to see Covalent Docs. So yeah, this is the knowledge-based site. You're going to see when you get here kind of a quick start, which describes all of these different tabs on the side. You'll see overview, a little bit of what I just talked about with Covalent. Campaigns, which shows you some of the internal campaigns that we run on an ongoing basis, like a wallet design competition and like a data puzzle competition. This is kind of like probably the relevant part for most people here that supported networks. So these are all the different chains that we index. And if you click on any of these, you'll see a little bit more in depth, like which endpoints are supported, kind of examples, and then the average block time, stuff like that. And these chain IDs, which you'll find again in the API reference page. That's all laid out for you. So yeah, you can browse between the different chains. For tutorials, the Alchemist Cookbook is the place to go. I think maybe a little less relevant to a hackathon, but just in general to kind of see like different ways that you can get started at different skill levels. So these docs are kind of a good place to start for advanced people, but also beginners. Developer tools, you have Primer, Topic Calculator, kind of some new features on here. Primer is a way that you can filter your API calls even further and make things more specific. And then this project showcase is kind of what I was mentioning before, where people come for inspiration a lot of the time. So these are categorized they're just kind of like broken into different categories. So governance, tools, wallets, DEXs, NFTs, multi-chain analysis. If you click on any of these, you can expand them. And you can see some different projects that have been built at the, like in the past, and they'll describe which endpoints they use. So this is kind of helpful to see like what's possible. You can also see the events that these were built at. So for instance, this one was built at a previous ETHGlobal event. But yeah, we like to showcase awesome projects on here. So there's definitely a chance that builds from this competition could be featured on here as well. We're always kind of like looking to feature more community projects. It's just hard to like track them all down. But yeah, these are a little bit more in depth. And then these are a bit about our service providers, like our node providers and the changelog, where you could see like different updates to the API itself. So that's the docs. And then where you're going to go from here is if you get an API key, you're going to go to the API reference page. So I'll just scroll back up to the top. So this is where you land. It gives you an overview of the page itself. And then you'll see on the side, you have class A endpoints, class B endpoints, and then pricing endpoints. So class A endpoints are like just kind of broad queries across any different chain that you want. Things like get transactions for an address or get like NFT transactions for a contract, something like that. Our class B endpoints are protocol specific. So like Uniswap, PancakeSwap, SushiSwap. And then we have these new X, Y equals K endpoints here, which basically it's kind of like the Uniswap AMM has been kind of cloned. So the X, Y equals K endpoints allow you to query any sort of like Uniswap-like DEX across any chain. And then you have your pricing endpoints at the bottom. So up here, as I mentioned before, you have the global settings. If you want a specific chain that you're going to be looking at pretty often, you can just set it here. This will also show you all the ones that are supported. So I'm just on Ethereum. And then you have your quote currencies. This is probably, well, actually, yeah, this probably is relevant. We have an analyst mode that just shipped too, which basically, if you click this, you'll be able to try these API calls and see tabular responses. Because we've always had this CSV feature, but you'd have to like copy it out into a spreadsheet, and now you can just look at it directly in the browser. So if you're doing more like analytics dashboards, definitely check out analyst mode. And then we have a few different languages that the docs are translated into now as well. So, and it's like Russian, Korean, and Chinese right now, and then we're going to be shipping some more out. But yeah, I'll just show you kind of like how these endpoints look. So you'll see examples on the side. You'll also see templates sometimes in here. So like, this is just kind of an idea of how you could use that endpoint. We're actually currently running a hackathon to solicit more templates from our community. So if you want to check out Alchemist DAO, you can be part of that hackathon. And yeah, if you can try these live in the browser. You just need to sign up for your API key first. I have a couple kind of that I've just shown so you can see how the response would look. So this, for instance, one of these get historical token prices, you just input a contract address, you find that on ETHGlobal, you set a date range, and then if you click run, your response is going to look something like this. So it submits like a JSON response unless you are in analyst mode and you choose the tabular responses for some of those endpoints. I just wanted to highlight one that's kind of cool too, which is this get NFT metadata. So if you know like the contract address of the NFT collection and the token ID, you can input that in here. So you could do this for like any kind of collection that's big on, I don't know, Twitter or OpenSea pretty much. It's just kind of booming right now, so it's a fun one to look at. But you'll get all the metadata for that NFT, which looks like this in the response, like the name and then like the owner, all of the different traits, which is kind of cool. And then if you want, you can copy and paste the actual URL, which is just going to show you like a full image like this. In this case, it's by Ferocious. So it's kind of cool. And this is how people are able to display things in those NFT galleries and such. So maybe now is a good time to hand off to show you a couple more projects in depth, how you can make full use of the API. Harish, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Okay, awesome. Let me, I think you're going to have to stop sharing in order for me to share my screen here. Okay, can you see that? Awesome. So just going to spend a few minutes talking about a few of the projects that came out of previous ETHGlobal events that we've been a part of and have used our API, just to give you sort of a broad flavor of the different types of applications that can be built, and of course to showcase the creativity of the developers building these projects out. So the first one here, which was part of just the recent ETH Online. These were one of the finalists here. So this is decentralized, and it's a concept that combines NFTs with DeFi. So being able to mint your own decentralized NFT, and then creating this sort of streaming service where, depending on different the number of owners and the time period, you actually get streamed back a portion of the proceeds from the auction of that decentralized. So it's a really interesting concept where they're leveraging Superfluid and Chainlink and a few other protocols here to be able to create this type of revenue model over various time periods and combine the creative aspects of NFTs with DeFi. So I'll share the link to all these projects shortly here, but this is really one to check out to really embody the spirit of this space with both this non-fungible token or NFT concept and decentralized finance. The second one here that we've got, Grammatria, is a very interesting concept where the idea is to if you're familiar with the Webflow or some of these, drag and drop tools to create your web application, basically the same concept for creating Web3 applications. So each, for example, there is a modular section called Zora or LivePeer or some of these other decentralized projects. And you can just literally drag and drop these components in to be able to create your Web3 applications in a very visual manner. So this was a really cool project. A couple of these sections and modules are using Covalent under the hood, and really enjoy showcasing this one as well. And then the third one is what Lei had alluded to with this concept of a 3D walkthrough through an NFT gallery. So here, I've just put in a wallet address, and it's pulled all the NFTs from that particular wallet address. This one actually runs on the RSK network, which is a partner of ours. And so the idea is that you can have this digital walkthrough where you can see your NFT items in sort of a gallery format. And, imagine the use cases here where you can create your own little showcases. You can obviously, auction and have people be able to purchase, basically take the concepts of the analog real world experience and then be able to sort of capture that in this very unique and interesting demonstration. So just a couple of ideas, in terms of what you can do, and really there's no limit to the creativity of developers in the Web3 space, as we've clearly seen. So, hopefully this serves as a bit of an inspiration for what the community here can do as part of Web3 Jam.
Yeah, awesome. I see you've already answered some of the questions, but I think there's just maybe a couple more in here.
Let's see. I was just answering a few of these. If there's any more, and actually, let me just share the links here so you can all sort of go through it. And so that's the degen docs. This is the Web3 builder. And for anyone who is excited about the NFT gallery, this is the demo page for that.
Yeah,
awesome.
Morning. It's like really hard to get through the door. I was really impressed that you just got through the door in one try.
I spent some time practicing just to make sure to embarrass myself, just walking through that.
Yeah, that's a fun one to try. I think the only question after the last one you answered is it okay to get multiple API on my environment?
Yeah, so when you set up your organization in the Covalent platform, you can request multiple keys, and if there's team members working with you, they can have their own keys, or if you've got keys for different functions, you're definitely able to organize it that way. So right now, again, the API is free, so it's go to town, don't melt their servers, but definitely. We want to see people build some really interesting use cases and be able to see what folks come up with. Where is all the data on our centralized servers? So yes, that is correct. So currently, Covalent service is a centralized service, which we're actively decentralizing right now. In fact, we just set up what we call our block specimen producer, which is sort of the first iteration of our decentralized networks, and then we'll have the query nodes and then the indexing nodes after that. So it's really exciting for us to go through this process. Our first approach is making sure that we got our data structure in sort of a manner that provides value to users. And we've clearly seen the product market fit with the number of customers who've used our product and powering over 350 projects now. So through this process, as we go through and decentralize, just on this last question, yes, absolutely. We are going to have this network set up in a way where individuals can actually run their own node. That's where we're going to get to. We're going to start with a set of validators who obviously specialize in running nodes. But I mean, everybody internally has been asking, can we also do the same thing? And we are going to work our way to that model so that contributors and also supporters of the network get rewarded for running infrastructure. Is there a way to request additional blockchains for indexing? Yes, Lei, maybe you can quickly talk about the governance portal, where people can propose different ideas, but also different networks that get prioritized to be indexed. There's constant questions that we get about when is this chain going to get indexed, when's that chain going to get indexed. So let's just quickly talk about the governance page, and maybe I'll share the link once you start talking about it.
Okay, I actually have the link, so I can just put it in here.
But, perfect.
Yeah, we've been using our governance forum a lot, which I just shared the link to. You can see there's actually a few different categories in there. So I'll talk about the indexing, but also for people to request features on the API, you can actually put those on here as well in the development section, because we're trying to kind of see like an archive for all of the feature requests. But in terms of the chains we index, we had our first full-on governance vote on Snapchat like a couple weeks ago, and it was one of our community members that proposed we index Harmony because she wanted to use our endpoints for their chain, or like a project she was building on their chain, which was super cool. We had I think it was 10.9 million votes on our first proposal, which was super awesome to see. And in lieu of that, we're continuing to basically take proposals from the community on different chains that they want to see us index. So currently there's one underway, which actually you can probably find in here. But,
the Ronin?
Yeah, so for Ronin, for Axi's sidechain, we've kind of worked with Axie in the past, and some of their community members, they sort of have an issue with accessing their data right now or making sense of their data. So there's some really talented community members on their side that have built cool fan sites, but more people kind of want to explore the analytics and the incentives of Axie. So yeah, there's a current proposal underway for us to index Ronin. And then I think some of the preliminary voting starts this week. So yeah, definitely check that out if you're interested. Oh yeah, Harish, somebody just asked about oh, there you go. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the demo, they configured it for a particular address. I think you should be able to try some other addresses, but if you want to ensure it works, try the one that I just shared there. It's a wallet on RSK that's got, the guy actually created his own little collection and deployed it on RSK to be able to use it for that demo. Awesome. Well, we're very active on Discord. So if there are any additional questions, we are more than happy to answer them on our Discord channel, which I will share right here. Just covalenthq.com/Discord. So please join us there. Yeah, love to hear your questions. If you've got any requests for feedback on ideas or using our API, we're going to be active in both the global Discord channel as well as ours. So don't hesitate to reach out. We love taking part in hackathons, and we love supporting creative developers like you all. So good luck with your builds. Yeah, thank you again for the opportunity to present to you guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Lei and Harish, for taking your time to have this wonderful presentation for all of our hackers. For hackers, the live stream of this can be found on our YouTube channel at ETHGlobal if you want to refer to it anytime in the future. And otherwise, just like Harish said, Lei and Harish can be reached through our Discord at sponsor Covalent or their own Discord. So yeah, I hope the rest of you have a great rest of your day. And thank you so much for tuning in.